What if you could become a better person, not by working harder, but by taking one small step a day? And not because you're a bad person now, but because there's something inside you that's ready for more. How to Be a Better Person gives you one tiny step a day you can take to be the person you want to be. My mission? To help you live your best life. Hi there, and welcome to How to Be a Better Person. I'm Kate, your host, coming to you on a Mindset Monday with a tip that can help you think differently about when it's time to get out there and work for what you want, and when it's appropriate to take a step back and do something that's super powerful but not all that well regarded, and that is to surrender. Let me tell you a story about what I mean. When I first started practicing yoga a million years ago, it was 1995, I saw people go up into headstand during my first class, and I thought, what is that? I'd never seen anything like it. A part of me really wanted to be able to do it, but I'm kind of a chicken when it comes to going upside down. As evidence, I never learned how to do a cartwheel when I was a kid. Nevertheless, I swallowed hard and started doing all the prep that would get me to standing on my head in the middle of the room, bringing my head to the floor in a downward dog, eventually coming up into a little upside-down egg pose at the wall, gradually straightening my legs, moving my mat millimeters away from the wall. Once, while taking a yoga class in a gym, I moved about 6 inches away, from the mirrored wall. It was great until I rolled out of headstand and my butt smashed into the mirrored wall and cracked it like a hard-boiled egg. I mean to tell you, I worked hard and long on that headstand. After about 5 years of this, I started to break out in a cold sweat whenever the teachers called out headstand in class. I was starting to get down on myself about it. I thought I detected disappointment in my teachers' eyes when they saw me move my mat to the wall. That's when I stepped away. I didn't even attempt headstand for several weeks. I focused on other things. I had put in tons of work, and then I decided to just give it a rest and to make space for things to shift. I said to myself, okay, I've done everything I know how to do. I've made a lot of progress, but I'm not where I want to be yet. I'm going to take a little break and try it again when I'm fresh so I can have beginner's mind about it again. And then, one magical day, I decided to try again in the comfort of my own home. I will never forget the way my legs floated up like butter into my first unsupported headstand. And it was all because I worked hard, and then I surrendered. I didn't say, to heck with this, I'm never going to get this, and I'm a total loser. Maybe I said that actually, but I didn't stay there. I just set it aside. I didn't give up. I surrendered. There's a difference. I said, I've done everything I know how to do. Now I'm going to try doing nothing. And that's an important piece of surrender. It means you're suspending judgment and you're not trying to force the outcome. It requires you to access your trust muscles. There's another form of surrender that's important too, and that is dropping your resistance to something. For example, when you walk into the kitchen and realize that there are chores to be done and all you want to do is get in bed. It really is freeing to drop the narrative that lists all the reasons why you don't want to actually do this thing and just surrender to whatever's coming up. You may still exert effort when you're surrendering. Those dishes aren't going to get put away by themselves after all, but the effort feels less effortful because you're not judging yourself for doing it. You just do what's needed because it needs doing, not because you've got an agenda. So when something comes up today, it could be big or small. Maybe your partner or your kid wants to do something that you don't feel like doing. Just go with it. Surrender to it. You're not giving in. It's not weak. It's actually very powerful to say, I'm choosing to stop resisting this. It's super freeing. And paradoxically, it often helps you make the strides you couldn't seem to make when you were in power through mode. That's it from me today. Tune in tomorrow when I've got something way more lighthearted to share with you. Thanks for listening to How to Be a Better Person. Our theme song is Left for Deadish by Junior85. The podcast is mixed by Sound Advice Strategies. If you liked what you heard in this episode, share it with someone you think would like it too. Your voice matters. Also, How to Be a Better Person has an official newsletter that sends the past 7 episodes, a sneak peek of the week ahead, and one well-chosen meme to your inbox every Saturday morning. Sign up at beabetterpersonpodcast.com and click on Get Podcast News. I also love to hear from listeners. I love it. Send me an email by clicking on the Contact Kate button at beabetterpersonpodcast.com, tweet me at Kate Han, Katehan, or find me on Instagram at Kate Hanley Author. I look forward to connecting with you.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices, amplified.